Hey everyone, happy Wednesday to you all. I hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I have come live, and 'tis life, right? It's already February, halfway through, almost halfway through. That's insane. So if you're like us, you're thawing out right now. There's snow melting, which is weird for us, ice melting, which is nice, but it's been really cold. It's been great. But there are some things going on. There are some conversations we need to start having. And some things have really been brought to my attention as of late. So here are the conversations my daughter and I have had in the last week. Racism, sexism, social injustices, vaping, and sex trafficking. She's in 6th grade. And we had this conversation about sex trafficking. Why? I'm not trying to scare her, but I am going to do my part to protect her and to make her aware of what's happening and how to protect herself, because we have to do that. And she looked at me and said, "Mom, I shouldn't have to know these things." And you know, right, she's absolutely correct. But we live in a world where sin happens and things happen, and these things are happening. And I don't care if you're in a small town, sex trafficking is happening. It's happening everywhere. It's happening in this city. It's probably happening in yours. Hey, Gail. And so we're having this conversation, and I listened to a great podcast the other day, and I've been reading these incredible books on how to have conversations with our children when they're very young and as they're older. So typically, when we think, we're going to focus on sex trafficking for the first part of this. So typically we think, oh, kids are kidnapped. Less than 5% of people involved in sex trafficking were kidnapped. Most are runaways. And it's this insane, elaborate ploy and manipulation used by traffickers to lure our kids in. And I told my daughter, I said, I don't care what kind of bad decisions you make. I don't care how bad things are. You never run. You always come home. And we'll work it out. There will be consequences, but we're gonna work it out. And I had to talk to her about how to protect herself. How do you keep yourself safe? And that means online. And I said, you live in an online world. Here's why I have some of the rules that I do. And here's why I ask you questions. And here's how you can protect yourself. Don't talk to someone you don't personally know. And she said, actually, Mom, if I'm getting a friend's number, I always have them text me a specific word. And I thought, that's genius. So she knows who is on the other line is actually who is on the other line. And it's a scary topic. And did I want to talk to my daughter about sex trafficking? No. But I need her to be prepared. And I'm actually, once this video is over, I'm going to put some resources in the comments. 3 books. One is geared for younger kids, teaching them about their bodies and the right kind of touches and bad touches and things like that, written by one of my favorite professors, Dr. Beth Robinson. And she's worked with kids who have come out of abusive situations. And you know what? There's hope, there's restoration, God redeems. So all is not lost. Even though it's a scary topic, we need to be prepared to stop it and to prevent it, right? I mean, that's just wisdom. We can stick our heads in the sand all day long, but these things are happening, and these things are happening to our children all day long. And this is happening to our honor students, to our fabulous athletes, all the good kids. They're getting sucked into this too. It's not one specific type of kid, and we need to be aware of these things. And so I'm talking to her. Here's why you don't have a phone. Here's this. And I kind of explained, here's why I've had some of the conversations with you that I have. And did she like it? Not really. And I said, but here's the thing. Once you know how to protect yourself. You know what to be aware of. And you can help your friends. Because when they say something that doesn't feel quite right, that's the Holy Spirit, that's discernment. Listen to that voice and share it. Say, hey, I don't think you need to be talking to that person online. And I actually was told a story of a girl up in, I think, the Northeast. I think that's where she was. I don't know exactly where she lived, but she honor student, great athlete, went to youth group, went to church, sleeping every night in her own bed in her own home. She was being trafficked. And it was so subtle. It was a post she had written complaining about her family. Someone reached out, hey, I understand if you ever want to get together and talk. Someone her age, this boy, they get together and she's crying because she's upset. He gets up to go to the bathroom. A couple is sitting there and the woman looks at her and says, hey, are you okay? Are you safe? Do you need help? And she said, no, he's my friend. So this couple starts talking to her. Oh, we understand growing up is hard. We have grown kids. If you ever want to come over, you're more than welcome. And so it's seemingly good, people trying to help. That's how it started. That's how this girl's journey of being sex trafficked began. That's the world we're in. And we have to talk to our children to help prevent these things. Because it shouldn't be that way. And I told my daughter, I said, I think your generation is going to be the one to change things. You're not going to put up with these things, and you guys are going to be a lot smarter, a lot wiser, and a lot safer. And I truly believe that. The next generation is phenomenal. They are such phenomenal human beings. And I think they're going to change the tide in a lot of ways. And they're not going to put up with status quos and, oh, this is just the world we live in. They're going to do something about it. So then a friend of mine had mentioned vaping. And she said, I don't care what kid it is, they've all done it or been around it or tried it or are doing it. And I'm not a fan of sweeping statements like that because I'm sure not every kid has. Like, I grew up at a high school on the border of Mexico, in El Paso. And the common phrase then was, everyone goes across the border to drink. I never did. So probably not everyone, but it's very common. And kids are thinking it's no big deal. It's very dangerous, incredibly dangerous. And so the other day I was asking my daughter, hey, does anyone talk about vaping? Just out of the blue. She's like, no, not my friends. It's like, okay. And I'm sure that's gonna change as she gets older. And I asked her, if someone said, hey, try this, what would you do? Just kind of gauging where her heart is at. And you guys, as she's talking about, here's the thing, raising a daughter. Well, one, I think those of you raising young boys, you can raise them to turn away from inappropriate images. When you're walking through stores, Victoria's Secrets exists. Those kind of clothing stores exist. You can teach your sons to turn away. Is that easy to escape every image? No, but you can teach them to avert their eyes. And having a daughter, all these images we see, what do you think about that? What do you think that says about her? And we have to teach them to use their voice. We have to teach them it's okay to say no, I'm not comfortable, no thank you, goodbye, to speak up for themselves. Because I'm also reading this fascinating book called Outspoken, and it's how women's voices have been silenced. How women are more often interrupted in the business place. I mean, this book is insane. And I think part of protecting our girls is teaching them to speak up. You know what? When my child was little, I never forced her to hug her grandparents or her aunt or her uncle or anybody. Say, do you want to give them a hug goodbye? No. Okay. Why? Because making them do it is teaching them you have to do these things for an adult, even if you don't want to. That could come back to hurt you later. And it was Dr. Beth Robinson who educated me on some of these things when my daughter was born, and I'm so thankful. But you guys, we have got to get educated on these things. It's not fun. We don't need to have fear consume us. We do not live by the spirit of fear. We live by faith. And I believe God sees everything, and he will bring justice, and there is mercy, and there's restoration for these children and young adults and people who are involved in this. I truly believe that because I've heard people's stories, so I know it is true. But we have to have these conversations, and we have to start educating ourselves so we can protect our children, their friends, protect the next generation and even ourselves, because it's too important and it matters too much not to. It really does. So I know, big heavy topic. This is what's been going on in my house this past week, so want to share it with you all. You're welcome. Yeah, but you guys, it doesn't have to be the story that our children live. We can protect them, we can help keep them safe, but we have to be aware of it and we have to be willing to talk about it. And you know what? I don't care how uncomfortable a conversation is, our kids are worth it. They are more than worth it. Have a good day, and once I close this out, I will drop the resources that I mentioned down below in the comments. So hope you guys have a great day. Hope I didn't cause you to fret too much, but you guys, we do need to be aware of these things, and it's just too important not to discuss. All right, see y'all later.